All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to look, I think, primarily at the crypto sector right now. We're going to look at Marathon, as you see on the screen right here. We'll look at Coinbase shortly after, Robinhood, and then we will look at any. All right, and I mean, I don't even have to say it, right? Like, crypto's been going crazy, and you do not necessarily need to buy these altcoins to make money when those go up, right? When you find some stocks that have anything to do with crypto, when crypto goes up, this is what you're going to get. This thing basically went from around, I started covering these. Most of them have almost doubled already, but this guy was just a little bit high. Well, it's roughly say $12. And yeah, we're knocking on the door of 22 plus, right? So, I mean, it's been very good to say the least. And really, it's all driven by the fact that just Bitcoin has been going crazy, right? And the whole altcoin like sector itself, right? So should make sense that these are doing well. And like I said, I mean, there was plenty of notice if you've been watching these, but bouncing on the 8 moving average like a champion is going to be the echoing theme on this one, all right? But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree. I'm telling you, anything you can do helps me so much, but I am very grateful that you're here, to say the least, all right? So let's get into it, and I don't even know where to start with Marathon, all right? The real thing actually is, I believe I even started covering this a little closer to this early to mid-November, because again, look, the 200 moving average is the last one for a reason, and if you can break that line, man, good things tend to happen. Once it got over the 100, once it was over all 5, you hear me say it on any ticker, right? Break the 5 and you fly. And I mean, like I said, you can basically say like 12-ish is where it flew, the flight began, and we're knocking on the door of that 24 2x, right? So this is what I love. This is what my videos are about, right? Like, sustainable uptrends is way better. I got to update my Lenovo thing. This is way better than you know, silly parabolic up and downs, right? And this, I believe, is findable. I don't know if that's a real word or not, right? But again, when it looks like you're going to break moving averages, I mean, this is what I love, right? This is why I say break them all and fly, right? The other thing is, man, I keep saying it, when the 8 and the 20 are your best friend, it's an amazing thing, all right? When it's your worst enemy, you just can't get over the line. It's like impossible, right? When it's your best friend, you just can't go below it. You just can't, and all you do is you hit it and you fly, hit it and fly, hit it and fly, right? So there are so many fundamental things I talk about on every single one of the tickers, right? And that's what this is doing. And look, I know things are good on the indices, right? Like, generally you hear me say, hey, if NASDAQ does well, tech will do well. Hey, if Dow Jones and S&P 500 do well, that will pretty much be good for almost all of them. Look, Bitcoin is the index for this sector, right? If Bitcoin's gonna go, like, Ethereum, I believe that's how you say it, like, if that one was to pop, I would be surprised if Bitcoin didn't go with it. But again, there are your big boys and big girls, and then there are the little ones below it, right? And to me, Bitcoin is it, right? Like, they are all following as Bitcoin is making that march to 45, as people are wondering, are we going to hit 50? Are we going to retest 60, right? Like, that's what this does too, right? So that's going to be the echoing theme here, all right? And again, where are we on the daily? Above all and flying. Where are we on the weekly? Look at where we're at on the weekly, all right? That gets over it. That's actually a really nice confirmation. And then right behind it is another 20% this week so far, right? So again, overall the moving averages on the weekly, overall the moving averages on the daily, man, these are amazing places to be, right? And Damn, I need to draw more. Oh, I have another line. Yeah, the next line right there is 27. We'll see what happens after 27. I think that's the best thing I got to say here. You know what I mean? I guess, sorry to zoom in and out so much. I hate doing that. I guess there might be something here. Is that kind of where we're at right now? Yeah, look at that. That's actually roughly where we're at. You can see it's kind of the top of that, the top of that. Let me just draw that really quickly. Yeah, that's actually almost exactly where we're at right now. You can see that's kind of what slowed us down. I guess that's worth actually drawing. Again, that 27 line is what I had above it. RSI is a high 85, right? So you know there's a little bit of me that feels like it might need to cool down. Again, so far it seems like cooling down for this thing is either riding a support or, like you see, just coming back to the 8th and taking off again, right? So a lot to like here. Just watch Bitcoin. Even if, again, like I said, I actually don't trade any of the altcoins. I do not own a single Bitcoin, a single this or that, right? Like, I move stocks. And yeah, if Bitcoin's going to go up, believe me, I'm not going to sit at home and be sad. I'm going to make money when it goes up too, right? So there are plenty ways of playing that sector, all right? Marathon, I'm liking. Hey, really quickly, there was news. They acquired more mining equipment or mining websites, something like that. Look, again, all I'm hearing is Marathon saying, I'm going to get more coins, right? And again, I'm cool riding them because, hey, I'm not going to mine it, but they'll mine it for me. You know what I mean? So, like, again, I like the news. All it's really saying is I'm doubling down on my belief in crypto, right? And I'm not personally a big believer in crypto. I think I believe in gold a little bit more than anything. I'll be honest, I'm obviously an American, right? But the US dollar is really strong. We still don't know what's going to happen with the China's the yen, I think. Damn, I might sound real dumb. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But like, again, I think world currencies are just, I don't know. Again, maybe I'm a little old school, right? I'm like not even 40, but hey, you know what I mean, right? So either way, my opinions on altcoin don't matter. When things go up, like I said, I'm gonna find a way to jump in. All right, so that was Marathon. We talked about the news. Let's look at Coinbase real quick. Yeah, you know what, let's look at Hood real quick. Let's look at Hood, because this was not one that I've actually, I think, covered. If I did, I know we were talking about it on the Discord. Sorry, I was just kind of thinking about that. But I know if I do a quick search of Hood, yeah, I mean, we've been talking about Hood. You can see, like, I mean, yeah, early December is the easy answer, right? That's kind of the theme. You can see all these 12.5, 12.6. Again, I digress, right? But Hood, that's essentially when this started to go off and take off, right? So all that 12.4, 12.5 talk, what were we hunting? The exact same thing, right? Break all 5 and fly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Break all 5 and fly. Again, it doesn't look like a lot, but going from $10 to 13 is a very, very quick 30% move. All right, no one here, I hope, is above 30% moves that are relatively easy and almost an entire string of green there. You know what I mean? So lovely, lovely to see. Again, look, Robinhood isn't necessarily a 100% crypto play, right? They're obviously a brokerage house. They're obviously, you know, connected to regular stocks. They're, I think, trying to be a little more financial overall, but end of the day, right? Like Robinhood, like, how do I say, I'm not trying to offend people because I know there's a lot of younger people that watch this, right? But like Robinhood has this like connotation of these like younger kids buying these crypto stocks on it, right? Like Robinhood changed the game, man. Like I'm grateful for something like Robinhood. I'm grateful for something like Webull because I still remember back in the day having to pay almost $4 a trade. Imagine losing on a trade and having to pay an extra $4 just to exit. Like I'm like digressing a little bit, right? But like Robinhood is more than a crypto play for sure, but in my opinion, I think it is really connected to the crypto world because again, there were a lot of younger people in like 20s and whatnot just going ham buying alt stuff on Robinhood, right? So I think that's why the connection's there. That's at least why I'm putting it in here. Feel free to disagree with me, right? I'm just a dude giving you my opinions, right? But Robinhood, at the very minimum, break them all and fly, right? And again, just kind of bouncing on the 8 like a champion, right? So the one thing I would say is if we lost the 8, that's a relatively far drop to the 20, right? I think that there's a place for this to hold it around 1160 and whatnot, right? But yeah, just a little thing to be cautious, right? Because with Marathon, just really quickly going back, oh, I guess it's about the same drop. Yeah, that would be a same drop. It just didn't look as drastic, I guess. I don't know why, but yeah, again, just something I always kind of hunt. I just keep an eye on, right? But yeah, overall, I'm liking it. Just keep your eyes. I guess the one thing to say here is the SP 500 took a little bit of a dip. That's an ugly candle. No one wants to see that, right? So there was a good amount of like, you know, what's going to happen tomorrow in the air. I think Hood might get hit the most from that. If like Bitcoin was to go up, the S&P 500 goes down, I'd still feel comfortable on Marathon and Coin, which I'm about to cover, all right? But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions always, even if you disagree, right? Otherwise, let's come into Coinbase. And man, Coinbase. I think I've now made 3, maybe 4 videos on this thing. And each and every time I just keep saying this thing is wildly bullish. And lo and behold, we've smashed 160. Right? Like, I wouldn't say smash, we're only $1 over. That's probably a little bit drastic, right? But I will honestly, when I got in Coinbase, I was only hunting $1.25. I actually didn't think we were going to completely ride that channel. I mean, again, because as we were getting to that 125, look at how high that RSI got, just living in the 90s, right? The one thing why I had it so big, and again, I still got to zoom out to get there, is look at that channel, right? Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 a whole mess of nothing. I actually did the wrong channel. Damn, that's the one above it. Can you imagine what's going to happen if we actually do this? But this one's even actually easier, right? This one's a whole mess of nothing. Red, 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 green, 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 right? So yeah, that was a beautiful channel, and obviously, like I said, we're here. I think I'm gonna take back my smashing comments, especially now that I talked about the channel above it, right? Like, this is definitely a good candle over it. You know I need confirmation, and this is not a good candle. This actually is not. I don't like the filled in ones. Why? This thing actually opens at 164 and then comes down and closes at 161. Most people actually lost about $3 a share here. I know that's not a wild percentage by any means, right? But that's a little under 5%. That's actually a little closer to like 2%, but still, nonetheless, right? I like a day, even this one, I like a day that starts low, opens at 152, and then closes at the green number above at 153, right? So that is not confirmation that this broke, all right? But again, what am I seeing? Man, volume's picking up. We're obviously at a very, very nice positive MACD. Again, it wasn't that long ago. We were living in the 90s. So like even 73, you know, sometimes I keep saying, hey, there's still a lot of room between 73 and 80, right? Let alone 85 or 86, let alone, you know, higher, right? So Coinbase, again, I think this is more about the Bitcoin rush than it is Coinbase itself, all right? Overall, are we? Yeah, over all the moving averages on the weekly, over all the moving averages on the daily, there's actually no better place for your money than when that's the case, right? So a lot to love on this one, all right? Let me know if you disagree. Otherwise, we're going to move to any. Sorry for doing this a little quickly, but man, this is beautiful, right? I don't know what else to say here, all right? This is a stock that has had a lot of bad, all right? It has. This is one I'm actually a little familiar with. Man, it's had a lot of bad, and there's reverse split happened right here, lost all the moving averages, went down, but geez, right? Like red, 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 green, 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 green. We're now over all the moving averages, and again, just look at it. It's actually the first time we're over it since 2021. All right. Never, 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 never. We try. This one's a little different, right? So real interesting stuff happening right here, right? Is it deserved? Is it any of that? Look, I'm not here to discuss any of that, right? But when you break all the moving averages, there's reasons to believe, right? So let me see. I just kind of want to, because there's actually no lines here, right? So Yeah, that's going to be the next real resistance. And you can see we actually pretty much wicked that right there, right? But there's a horizontal right here that I think is worth drawing. And then, man, really after that, goodness, it's pretty much just that. Yeah, I mean, goodness. Keep this one on your radar, all right, for sure. If this is going to come down, I would not want this to go any lower than 225, 226, because if that happens, it actually might be a little bit of a fast drop to $2. That would be a real hard 10% loss right there, right? The lowest I'm kind of willing to let this kind of go, I would hope, would be 240. And then, yeah, I mean, if we can really get over this 287, let's call it 290. And like I said, I mean, that's essentially what we wicked today, right? Yeah, 285 was the high. I mean, if we can get over this line, there's a lot to like. That's a real good MACD. That's a nice RSI. It's a little high. For sure, it's a little high, right? But volume can do some big things, right? And it wasn't that long ago. We did have a good few days right there. This is almost a little bit of a healthier climb, if you want to call it that, right? But yeah, interesting. This is definitely worth being on the radar, all right? So a little bit of a rush review. Hey, let me know if you've got any thoughts or opinions, even if they're different. Otherwise, you know it. I appreciate you so, so much.